When buying from CNFANS, our biggest worry is getting seized. And well, lucky for you, I've got multiple different ways of stopping this from happening. Now, I've shipped out over 40 hauls with CNFANS and PandaBuy, and I've never been seized at least once. So I can say I know what I'm doing. Now, doing these fixes, they won't work 100% of the time. They will help out in the end and make sure that you don't get seized as often. Real quick, if you guys are planning on buying any item from CNFANS, make sure to check out my spreadsheet. There's over 2,000 items on it. I definitely recommend to check it out. And also, if you guys haven't signed up to CNFANS yet, make sure to do it on my profile. You guys will get $130 worth of coupon codes. Now, the first tip I'm talking about is not shipping out electronic products. Now, I'm not saying you guys can't ship out electronic products. I've done it a couple of times and I've got my haul every single time, like these AirPods, for example. But a lot of shipping lines now are making it that you can't even ship out electronic products whatsoever. And most of the time, you'll be spending quite a lot of money to ship them out. Now, the biggest problem with shipping out electronic products is customs are more likely to open up your haul. And from this increases the chances of being seized. And we don't want that at all. Now, if you guys are going to buy electronic products, make sure just to know what the risks are. Personally, I wouldn't recommend to buy them from CNFANS anyways. Usually, the quality on them isn't that good and you probably get them from some better places. For example, High City, that's the most known place to get AirPods from, and 99% of the time the quality on them is going to be 10 times better than these ones. Now, the second tip I'm talking about is not shipping out designer products. This goes for things like high-end watches and also jewelry. Now, just like the electronics, I've shipped out a couple watches in my time. This Rolex here I did in fact get from PandaBuy, while this Patek Philippe I actually got from Bali. The main problem with watches and high-end jewelry is they are a massive magnet for customs. Now, I don't know what it is, but just like electronics, customs like to open up your haul if you've got one of these things in there. If you guys were planning on buying expensive watches and jewelry, I'd recommend to ship it out in a separate haul. This is what I've done every single time and it's worked out pretty well for me. Now, for the third tip, make sure your haul isn't too big. Now, if you guys are planning on making a haul and it's going to be bigger than 12 kilograms, I'd recommend to split it into 2 different packages. Just like the other 2 tips, this is a giant magnet to customs. The bigger your haul is, the more likely they are to open it up. This tip does also go towards diameter. So if you guys are planning on shipping out 5 of these giant big boys, it probably would not happen. But just like everything else, people have done it and have gotten away with it. It's all up to you whether or not you want to take that risk. Now, the final item tip is not ship out foods. Believe it or not, you guys can actually get foods from CNFANS, and surprisingly, they are kind of cheap. And to be honest, you can probably get a 5-pack of Pringles for cheaper than you can get at your local supermarket. Pretty insane to believe. I've tried doing it before, but it did not work out. For the first reason, there are no shipping lines that support food. This is usually a big problem for things like this. And once again, customs are very big on food coming from different countries, so it will be something you have to be very careful about if you plan on doing it. And I wouldn't be surprised, depending on your country, there will probably have to be a couple of stuff you have to fill in to be able to do it. Especially for me, I know that in Australia it is hard to do, hence why there is no shipping lines for it. Now, for the last part of the video, these are some small tips I recommend on doing. The first one is getting a plastic seal bag. This is an option you can choose when you're shipping your haul out. All you have to do is tick the box saying, yes, I want this. It's as simple as that. It should be just before you choose your shipping line. And surprisingly enough, this is actually a very effective tip. Since this bag is airlock sealed, it's pretty annoying for customs to open up. So most of the time they'll avoid it if you've got one. And then pretty much plastic seal every single thing in your haul. So it's actually quite a useful thing. By the way, I've done this for pretty much every single one of my hauls that are over around 6 kilograms. And once again, I've never been seized. Next thing is declaring the right amount. Declaring is a very important thing when you're buying from CNFANS or any other agent. Nowadays, CNFANS just does it for you, and to be honest, I don't know if it's that accurate. The old method that we used to run off was timesing it by 12. For all of those OG PandaBuy buys back in the day, you probably know what I'm talking about. But all you do is you just get your weight and times that by 12. So for example, if my haul's 12 kilograms, it's 12 by 12. And the last and most annoying tip is be careful when shipping out Nike products. Now, we all know after the PandaBuy raid, a lot of stuff went down. And this goes for Nike. They got pretty defensive on the situation. Some agents like Sugar went as far as banning Nike products totally, so this means you won't even be able to buy them if you want. And personally, this is why I like CNFANS the most, since there is no restrictions on them at all. But between you and me, I've still shipped out Nike products. Literally like 3 days ago, I shipped out another haul with some Nike shoes, and I already have shipped out Nike products since the PandaBuy raid, and I've gotten them, and I know a lot of people have too. All I'm saying, guys, is just be safe and be careful. No one wants to get seized, especially around Christmas time. It will ruin your mood. Anyway, I wish you all a happy new year, and I'll see you later in my next video.